It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And good morning. Welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. It is, in fact, let's see, what day are we today? We are Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. We are delighted to have you here in the program. We have a terrific show for you today. We are going to start off with the morning rundown, which is brought to you every day at this time by the Glock Store, glockstore.com, which is located right here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, glockstore.com. It's the number one provider of Glock Store accessories in the country. Oh, here we go. Here's the morning rundown for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2024. Number one, Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate, was arrested yesterday in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and has subsequently been charged in the murder of a United Healthcare CEO. That is a very, very big story. Number two, Daniel Penny was acquitted of the charges of criminally negligent homicide in New York City, and shortly thereafter, BLM threatened to riot. They did a little bit of riot, but it's not having the same kind of impact that thing typically had back in the George Floyd riot days of 2020. All right, number three, our good friend Harmeet Dillon, who actually, as it turns out, is our attorney, was representing us in the potential copyright infringement lawsuits that would have that never materialized in our publication of the 90 pages of the Covenant Killer Manifesto. She was named Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. How about that? Named Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, and we were delighted to see that story. Number four, Syria has collapsed. The Assad regime has left after half a century. And we'll have more on that here in just a little bit. Number five, Congress is back in session. What kind of continuing resolution will they jam through? Will it be a because the budget runs out of money on December 24th. Now, what kind of budget are we looking at here? Is it a budget that will just push things through to March, or will it be a budget that goes all the way through to the end of this fiscal year, which is September 30th? Those of you who are fans of the Department of Governmental Efficiency, we want a continuing resolution that just goes to March, and we'll see how that all plays out. And number six, Pete Hegseth's nomination for Secretary of Defense looks good. Joni Ernst came out in support of him. And then number seven, Matt Gaetz has a new gig. He's going to be joining those of us in the media. He's resigned from Congress. You know, he was the nominee for Attorney General, resigned from Congress. And guess what? Now he will be the anchor for One American News Network. Huh. Okay. Well, welcome. The media climate is good. So there you go. That is the morning rundown for Tuesday, December 2nd to 10th. What are we doing here? It's the morning rundown, folks, for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I think I'm projecting. I want to be into January 21st, right? When President-elect Trump is up by that time, President Trump. Okay, the morning rundown is brought to you every day at this time by our friends at the Glock Store. I just heard from my good friend Lenny Miguel, who's the CEO and founder of the Glock Store. He said their Black Friday deal days were a huge success, including an uptick in sales from cities that get the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. So thank you. Now, if you missed out on a few of the deals, don't worry. They'll be launching their Christmas sales soon enough with even more great deals on Glock's performance parts and all the great accessories they stock. Now, they stock only the best because they personally test each one. If Lenny McGill doesn't like it, it doesn't get on, period. And if he really likes a product, he features them on his incredible YouTube channel. over 500,000 subscribers, nearly 1,000 videos. You go to this YouTube channel. Let me tell you how to get there. Okay, go to youtube.com/@ Glock Store. And you can see, Lenny shows you how to shoot a gun. And he is fantastic at it. And very, very popular. Don't forget to go to theglockstore.com and sign up for their weekly sales letters. You'll even get a link to the latest Lenny video every Wednesday afternoon. I'm proud that Lenny McGill is a friend and sponsor. Visit glockstore.com today. You'll be glad you did, and so will I. All right, there we go. I want to talk a little bit about this mess that's going on in Syria. Jeffrey Sachs is a professor at Columbia University. And if you would, we're going to play this clip of Jeffrey Sachs talking about how Syria became such a disaster.
How out of control this could escalate.
It's true, but I think we have to step back and not put this in partisan terms. This is a U.S. mistake that started 7 years ago. And I remember the day on your show when President Obama said, Assad must go. And I looked at you and Joe and I said, how's he going to do that? Where's the policy for that?
Right.
And we know they sent in the CIA to overthrow Assad. The CIA and Saudi Arabia together in covert operations tried to overthrow Assad. It was a disaster. Eventually it brought in both ISIS as a splinter group to the jihadists that went in. It also brought in Russia. So we have been digging deeper and deeper and deeper. What we should do now is get out and not continue to throw missiles, not have a confrontation with Russia. 7 years has been a disaster under Obama, continuing under Trump. This is what I would call the permanent state. This is the CIA, this is Pentagon, wanting to keep Iran and Russia out of Syria, but no way to do that. And so we have made a proxy war in Syria. It's killed 500,000 people, displaced 10 million, and I'll say predictably so, because I predicted it 7 years ago that there was no way to do this and that it would make a complete chaos. So what I would plead to President Trump is get out. Like his instinct told him, by the way. That was his instinct. But then all the establishment, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Pentagon, everybody said, no, that's irresponsible. But his instinct is right. Get out. We've done enough damage, 7 years. And now we really risk a confrontation with Russia that is extraordinarily dangerous, reckless.
Yeah, he's exactly right. He's exactly right. Even though he was on MSNBC, and he kind of leans left. I know Jeffrey, actually, we went to college together way back when. He's actually a pretty good guy. Although he's one of these left of center guys who, makes some sense if you listen to him in some degree. All right, let's go on now. Pete Hegseth. We've got enough time to play this. Pete Hegseth was on Sean Hannity yesterday, and it looks like he's coming on strong. Here we go. Pete Hegseth.
Well, there's a lot to be done. First of all, you salute the commander-in-chief who got those 76 million votes and is going to chart the way. And I'll give him advice and counsel along the way. I'll just say what he told me. Return the Pentagon to the warfighters, Pete. Get in there and clean out all the social justice, politically correct garbage on top and get back to lethality, warfighting, accountability, meritocracy, and readiness. And guess what? 95% of the people in that building in the Pentagon and that wear the uniform, that's all they want to do anyway. And so when you return to that, it changes the culture of an institution that now stands up straight. You address that recruiting crisis. You address the retention crisis. Sean, I can't tell you how many families have reached out to me and said, my son or daughter wasn't going to join, and now they are after President Trump was elected and you were chosen to be SecDef. Same with retention. And then the rest of the world takes notice of that, Sean. So I'm not going to get ahead of the president on policy or what our posture will be. But we will be strong. And we will have peace through strength, as Donald Trump has said, and we will put America first.
Okay, so let me say this about Pete. He was a surprise announcement, and then they started attacking him for these personal things. But now he's coming on strong. He's going to get confirmed. Hey, we'll have more when we get back. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Hey there, this is Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of The Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. We're going to get to this very weird story about the alleged killer of the United Healthcare CEO, Luigi Mangione, 26 years old, Ivy League graduate from a very wealthy family in Maryland. But we have a couple of stories we want to hit. By the way, you are welcome to call in if you want to weigh in on the news of the day. 615-649-8477, 615-649-8477. Just tell our producer, Patrick, your name, where you're from, and what your topic is. The breaking news here, kind of interesting. Did you ever watch the, what was it, an HBO program, Succession? That was based upon the Fox News family, the Murdoch family. And Rupert Murdoch is, 90 plus years old now, built this empire. He wants to give it to his somewhat conservative somewhat conservative son, Lachlan. His other children are lefties. Okay. So he'd set up this legal transfer of control to his oldest son, Lachlan. But his children said, nah, we're not going to. His other children said, we don't want to do that. They went to court, and they won in the district court level. And so now, if they get control of Fox, if his leftist children get control of Fox, you're going to see the destruction of Fox News. We'll see how all that turns out. Yeah, very, very weird. I guess it was in Nevada, right? Usually, corporations go to Nevada so they can have control of things. Traditionally, when you incorporate, the two most founder-friendly states were Delaware and Nevada. But at Delaware now, we've got a judge there, a trial court judge, who's reversed the desires of the Tesla board. Remember that huge bonus that was granted to Elon Musk? The judge just threw it out for no good reason. That's kind of weird. There's all sorts of changes going on in media. A couple other things just to bring to your attention. Did you see this whole thing? And Donald Trump has got a sense of humor. Did you see the latest tweet he put out about Canada? Let me get to this here because I saw it. It went out last night. And is this really what he said? He is just showing I think he went off to Notre Dame, and I think he liked being the alpha male for the world. He's back. Okay. You saw him with that funny handshake, or not the controlling handshake with Macron, the head of France. Well, here's his latest. This went out. I was watching it late last night, and it came out about 11 o'clock Eastern time. Here's what he said. It was pleasure. Well, and I think I know why he did it, by the way. Because, so Trudeau, he says, look, this is about a week ago, right? He says to Mexico and Canada, you've got all these illegals crossing us, all these drugs coming to the border. You got to stop it, or I'm going to put a 25% tariff on everything you have. Okay? So Trudeau comes down, kisses the ring, pretends to be interested. Then he goes back up and says, well, we can put tariffs on American goods like Harley Davidson, things like that. I think it got Donald Trump to say, okay, we're going to show you who the real boss is. Our producer Patrick, you're smiling because you haven't seen this yet. You don't know what this is because it came in so late last night. This is going to crack you up. Here's what Donald J. Trump tweeted out last night. It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon so that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trades, the results of which will be truly spectacular for all! Exclamation point. DJT. Okay, so why did he do that? I know. People across the country are laughing out loud. Now, you might say, well, that's a little bit disrespectful to Justin Trudeau. Let me tell you why he did it. He did it because Justin Trudeau is trying to pretend he's the equal of Donald Trump. He's not. Donald Trump is the big dog, and there's no question about that. Okay, the other news I wanted to bring to your attention, Christopher Wray, apparently, remember when on Sunday, this is why we're like in a 15-minute news cycle. On Sunday, after Trump said he's going to appoint Kash Patel to be the head of the FBI, Kristen Welker said, well, you're going to have to fire Christopher Wray. Trump kind of handled it, said, well, obviously somebody's going to have to leave. Didn't name him, right? Why didn't name him? Well, he didn't want to really call him out. But Christopher Wray now, apparently, according to the Washington Times, is saying he's preparing to resign on or before Inauguration Day. That's a good move on his part because he would be frog-marched out of the FBI if Trump fires him. So, okay, so let's go to the big story here today. What is the story with Luigi Mangione, who was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania, yesterday afternoon? And the story's interesting. So he's a 26-year-old. He graduated from, I guess, what's called the Gilman School, which is a very expensive private school in Maryland. His cousin, I think, is a Republican state representative in Maryland. His father's a big construction executive, and he got a bachelor's of science in computer science and engineering from the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school, the same school from which Elon Musk graduated many years ago, 30 years ago or so. And he got a master's degree. But something happened to the guy. So I think he was high school grad 2016, 2020 graduated from college, 2021 got his master's. He ended up in Hawaii, and he was apparently like a physical fitness buff. But he apparently, I say this is all apparently, he had a surfing accident which created a back problem for him, apparently. And the back surgery did not go well. His parents reported him missing on November 15th or so. Okay, so he's been missing for all this period of time. And so here's what we have. He's been charged now by the New York police with the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare, which happened on the streets of New York. And they had facial ID and that sort of thing. He was on a bus, and he got off the bus in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And he was carrying a backpack. And apparently the story is somebody who was a customer in that McDonald's told an employee of McDonald's, I think this is the United Healthcare CEO killer. He sure looks like him. So the McDonald's employee called up the local police, and they sent out a rookie cop who's been on the job for 3 months. And the rookie cop goes up to Luigi Mangione age 26, who's apparently just sitting at the McDonald's for like an hour, according to reports, working on his, working on his computer. And he says, hey, could I see your ID? And he shows him an ID, and it's a fake ID. Anyways, they ended up arresting him, and they open his backpack up. Apparently, there's a ghost gun in his backpack. And remember, the report was the killer of the United Healthcare CEO killed him with a ghost gun. A ghost gun is one of these 3D printed guns that doesn't have any tracking on it. Okay, so he apparently he had like $8,000 to $10,000 in U.S. cash and $2,000 in sort of a foreign currency. The kid, the alleged killer, says, no, they planted that on me. He said nothing else since then. And now they've extradited him to New York City. He's going to be charged with apparently second-degree murder. How does this happen? Why does this happen? This looks like a case of somebody, a kid who, hit a bad patch and has a mental illness, or apparently they got a manifesto there that's an anti-capitalist manifesto. Hey, we'll have more when we get back. This is the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Back after this.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall and Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall and Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall and Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Our number is 615-649-8477, 615-649-8477. Well, we're going to look in this segment about all of these bizarre details about Luigi Mangione, who has been arrested and charged in the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson. Remember, this was kind of stunning when it happened. About 6:30 in the morning, the CEO, Brian Thompson, was in New York City and was walking into the Hilton Hotel, and then behind him, someone wearing a hood with a mask pulled out a gun and shot him in the back and killed him. And then he went off and was involved in essence, went off and grabbed his bike and just disappeared. And then yesterday afternoon, he was spotted at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Here's a story about this from Fox News. Larry, who looks like he's about 60 years old, he was a McDonald's customer who spotted the murder suspect Luigi Mangione before his arrest on Monday, told Fox News Digital he thought his friend was kidding when he said Mangione, quote, looks like the shooter from New York, end quote. Larry says he and a group of friends go to McDonald's daily and were inside one of the fast food chain's locations in Altoona when Mangione walked in. Quote, one of my friends, and I thought he was kidding when the shooter, who they made the arrest on, came in. He made a comment, well, that looks like the shooter from New York. But the group of us thought it was more of a joke, and we were kidding about it. But then, as it turned out, it was him. He added he saw Mangione make an order at the McDonald's, and then he went to the rear of the store. I passed him when I left and went to church and then came back because I heard there was an arrest. Now, apparently, Larry was just a customer there who saw him. But it's interesting if you think about this. This is a very bright but twisted young man, if all of these claims are true. He's traveling, he's fleeing New York City. He apparently was on a bus from, Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. And Altoona is a little town right near there. He gets off, he's hungry. If you're looking to lay low, and you know everyone in the world has seen your picture, right? Everyone in the world. Why do you go to a McDonald's, a very public place, place an order, and then after you place the order, sit in the restaurant? Just waiting for the police to come? None of this makes sense. Now, here's another part of the story. Police photo shows a fake ID allegedly used by United Healthcare CEO murder suspect. And you can see it right on Fox News right now. It is a fake driver's license from New Jersey for a different name. It's not the name of Luigi Mangione. Police sources say, I would say the name, but there may be somebody with that name. I don't want to put him in the put his name out there right now. You can go to Fox News and see it, but it's a picture. It's clearly a phony. Date of birth July 21st, 1998. Issued June 18th, 2024. Expired July 21st, 2028. There's a picture of this Luigi Mangione. Police sources say that when Altoona Police Department officers asked murder suspect Luigi Mangione for identification at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, he handed over a fake ID. Fox News Digital was told the fake ID is the same one the suspect used to check into a New York City hostel before the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A photo provided by police shows a New Jersey ID card, and then it lists the name. Police officials said the address, this will shock you, the address listed on the fake ID does not exist. Authorities apprehended Mangione on Monday after police officers in Pennsylvania recognized the murder suspect from pictures distributed by New York City police. Well, I think it's not, the story from what we're getting basically is that customers at this McDonald's recognized him, told the employees there. They called up the local police, and one local police officer showed up. Here's the story on this. Rookie Altoona police officer Tyler Fry took Mangione into custody after an employee and a customer at a McDonald's in Altoona thought he looked like the suspect on a wanted poster and called authorities. Okay, now it looks like the call went to police there were two calls in after an employee and a customer at a McDonald's in Altoona thought he looked like the suspect. When officers approached Mangione, who was wearing a mask and a beanie, okay, this is weird. He's wearing a mask and a beanie and working on a laptop on the back of the restaurant, and asked him to remove his face covering. They recognized him as a suspect wanted for questioning in the murder of Brian Thompson. During that encounter, he allegedly handed over a fake ID, gave a phony name, and, quote, became quiet and started to shake, end quote, when asked if he'd recently been to New York. He was also allegedly in possession of writings criticizing the healthcare industry and a ghost gun similar to the one believed to have been used to kill Thompson. Altoona police initially took Mangione into custody on charges unrelated to Thompson's murder, possession of an unlicensed firearm, that would be the ghost gun, providing false identification to police, and forgery of the false ID. Okay. Now, later that night, New York City charged him with second-degree murder. Apparently, it's going to be several days before he's extradited from Altoona, Pennsylvania. But notice this. This is, I think, somebody who was really gotten off course. He became quiet and started to shake when asked if he'd recently been to New York. This would be called a clue. And obviously, the guy was intelligent enough in a certain way to create the ghost gun to go and basically stalk and murder the healthcare CEO. But the guy got unhinged. I mean, have you seen the clips of him at his high school graduation, the valedictorian? Gave a nice little speech. There was no indication that he had this kind of bizarre twist and turn. The other element of this, which is kind of interesting, this story, an apparent friend of this is from Fox News Digital. An apparent friend of United Healthcare CEO murder suspect Luigi Mangione wrote to him on his X account in July, quote, "I haven't heard from you in months. Hey man, I need you to call me. I don't know if you are okay or just in a super isolated place and have no service. but I haven't heard from you in months. Quote, you made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly, the Post added, according to the Wall Street Journal. Hey, are you okay? Read another message posted on October 30th. Nobody has heard from you in months, and apparently your family is looking for you. These are indications something happened. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play a doctor on the radio. But look about the elements of this kid. 26 years old. Smart enough to graduate with a degree in computer science and engineering from Penn, a big Ivy League school, then get a master's degree there. But and he came from a very wealthy family. Apparently goes to Hawaii. I don't know why. Did he have a job in Hawaii? Was he starting to fall apart? And he was surfing in Hawaii, according to some reports. He had some sort of accident. He had some sort of back surgery that went wrong. This apparently would happen like in 2024. By the way, you could see he does have an X account. At least he did as of, like midnight last night when I checked on it. It had gone from about 7,000 followers the previous week to right now, when I last checked, it had like 250,000 followers. So people are obviously following him on X to see what he was saying. I could not see any indication from what he was publishing when he did. He had maybe, I don't know. In 2024, he mostly had reposts of various things. Yeah, maybe a dozen. And then I think he had like a couple of nondescript posts in 2024. But it appears that this was a young man who was going through some physical problems and some mental health problems, and was cognizant enough to put together this plan that succeeded in executing the CEO of United Healthcare. But everything about him otherwise indicates that it's not a person fully in possession of his faculties, it would seem to me, even though he had depending on who in his backpack, they discovered a manifesto. We've seen some of it, which had sort of anti-capitalist elements to it. But I think what we're going to see here is the following. He's not going to have a public defender. His family's going to hire a top-shot lawyer. And, he'll be extradited to New York City. And then will we have another trial, or will he cut a deal? We'll see. I think probably, the argument will be made, that he's not fully sane. But still, bizarre story. Hey, when we come back, our attorney, Harmeet Dillon, nominated by President Trump to be Assistant Attorney General in charge of civil rights. We've got a clip from her interviews with Nicole Shanahan. Back after this.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. We are joined in studio, Early Bird, EJ Haas. Welcome, EJ.
Hello.
You're early.
I am a little early
But
today.
if you get here early, we're just not going to have you hanging out there. We got to bring your talent.
Bring me in.
Talent for everyone to see. Our segment this time is very interesting. Late last night, Donald J. Trump nominated one of our attorneys, Harmeet Dillon, to be the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. That's a huge and good move.
I agree. I agree. No one better, honestly. I was surprised it took so long to put her somewhere.
Yeah.
Extremely articulate when on, media appearances and that sort of thing. But just one of the best. Very, very intelligent, smart, knows the Constitution, knows civil liberties for sure.
So she said that she'd received over 1,000 congratulatory messages in an hour, one of which was mine. So I sent it to her. When did the news break? About 6 o'clock last night?
Yeah. Yep.
So right at about 6 o'clock, I sent her, congratulations, AAG, exclamation point. About midnight.
Oh, I bet it took that long.
It
for
took
her
you
to
that
get
long.
through it, yeah.
She went, thank you.
Yeah.
Exclamation point.
Which was probably copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
It's like she sent out over 1,000 of those.
Yeah,
that's
great.
what she did last
That's
night.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that tells
Thank
you, though, that
Thank
she
you.
is
Yeah.
legitimately grateful for the position, but also fiercely loyal to her friends, right?
She is loyal to her friends.
She's a good person.
She was interviewed by Nicole Shanahan, who was RFK Jr.'s vice presidential candidate. I called her, Mrs. Google there for a while. Nicole Shanahan turns out to be a very thoughtful person.
Yeah, I disagree with her on a great many things.
Yeah.
But you're right, she is at least thoughtful about it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And she interviewed Harmeet the other day, and we've got that interview for you right here. This was before she was nominated. Well, here we go. Harmeet Dillon, Nicole Shanahan.
If I can be canceled by the left, literally anyone can be canceled by the left.
You cannot advance without parroting every woke bullshit message that's come along over the years.
Their biases really had them believing that the Republican Party and anyone around Trump is a white Christian nationalist.
You get a tax deduction for corrupting an election by using a nonprofit organization,
which is a clear abuse.
We had the government telling all the social media companies what Americans could see. That affected the outcome of elections, many elections, not just the 2020 election.
There's a machine to take out your opponent, a machine built on unconstitutional tactic.
This isn't, do I like Trump or not? This is, do I like America or not?
Okay, so
I'm
that's
Nicole
the
Shanahan.
intro to this whole
Welcome to Back to the People podcast, which highlights the growth of a movement uniting America, where our government is free from corporate capture and where we give voice back to the American public.
Well, let's put this on pause here for a second. So we probably need to do a little more audio editing.
We need the bleep button.
Bleep.
Yeah.
We need to have a real quick bleep because we create so many clips, and that was sort of a surprise. Notice it's interesting how Nicole Shanahan is very visually oriented.
Yes.
Her content is really good. That's why we have that little bouncy music there at the beginning. Let's go with the first question. Nicole Shanahan and Harmeet Dillon, if we can bring that up. Patrick. Oh, have we lost it? Okay, that's okay. It just give us the green light when it's back. But there are a couple little interactions I saw on X, formerly Twitter, before right after she was nominated. The first one was Mark Elias. Mark Elias, who, by the way, whose business empire, he's an attorney. He basically was saying, anybody that comes after a J6 committee member is going to be sanctioned.
Sure.
To which Harmeet said, Really? Really, Mark Elias?
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Like, let's do this. Yeah, yeah.
Also, he got $650,000 in legal fees for
Was it
pursuing.
that much? Yeah, I knew it was quite a lot.
For pursuing the bogus effort of Bob Casey to, stop that election result. The guy. Oh, by the way, also separated at birth. If you put a picture of Mark Elias next to the transgender Rachel Levine, I mean, they look alike.
There is a meme.
Rachel Levine have you seen the meme?
Yes, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel Levine just has longer hair.
I mean, what was Rachel's real name?
Lawrence or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, here we've got enough time to play this little introductory clip. Nicole Shanahan and Harmeet Dillon.
Harmeet, thank you so much for joining me here today in Woodside. And I have been following your work, but I also just wanted to comment on how beautiful and strong you look standing on stage at the RNC, giving a prayer from your heritage and sharing that with this community. And it was so, like, everyone felt it. You could feel it through the screen. You radiated this grace.
Okay, so we're not getting to the meaty questions.
Sure.
But you know where that is? You know where Woodside is in Palo Alto area?
I do, yep.
It is like the elite of the elite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she's got a beautiful house.
She does, and she posts about it on X sometimes. Beautiful fireplace. Fun fact about Harmeet Dillon.
Yeah?
She and I share a hobby.
With knitting.
Yeah.
She puts these knitting things up all the time.
Yeah. She and she's very, very good at it. I prefer crochet because I have to think less. But very interesting.
Harmeet, I want a MAGA sweater.
I'll settle for a beanie.
Come on,
I'll settle
Harmeet.
for a beanie.
All right. When we come back, we'll have more with EJ Houst. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.